Oh, Mike. Mike. I think I found a story that we're going to do at the end of the show.
Did it leave you?
Left me flabbergasted.
Yes.
But this one is so beyond reason. You know, we've been doing that segment every week. Stories so beyond reason they will leave you flabbergasted. And we found some pretty good ones.
Yeah, we did.
This one is that times 20.
That much?
Yeah. So you thought, though, stories we did, a couple...
That sounds like a lot. This must be
yes.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
Good.
You have to stay tuned.
I'm excited.
For the whole show. Because when we get to that segment, you are going to be flabbergasted. If you've never been flabbergasted on this show before, you are going to be flabbergasted. By the way, you are listening to Beyond Reason Radio. I am the voice of reason in a world that is beyond reason. We do this show every Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. live. All you have to do is download the Beyond Reason Radio app, and you can listen to the show live on there, or go to beyondreasonradio.com. Check the live stream there, and we want you to chat with the show. A little button on both where you can actually push the button, the little chat button, and you can chat with the show live and give your comments, and we'll talk about it on air. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can also comment on all the shows, and then it's available. Podcast is available everywhere. So if you like the podcast, push the little share button and share with your friends. What do you know? What a concept in today's viral
so easy
social media world. So we're going to go over a lot of stuff today. I have some Beyond Reason politics. Then I have the Beyond Reason economy, because unfortunately there's a lot of signs that the economy's not looking so good right now, and the future of the economy is not looking good right now. And unfortunately, that just helps people like Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. Unfortunately. I don't want it to. If they were smart, it wouldn't help them. But people tend to go to those kind of extremes when, they have no money. So there we are. But I want to start with something today. It's been a big issue, and I don't think it's getting enough attention. But it's really important. We have a few states out there that are passing different kinds of religious freedom laws or anti-discrimination laws, so forth. Now, right now, the one getting all the attention is North Carolina.
Yeah, I was just checking that out earlier. I was watching that on the
Yeah,
news.
I mean, you have PayPal saying they're not going to move there now. You have Charles Barkley saying they should get rid of the All-Star game there. You have other businesses, and this whole attack on North Carolina, because they passed a law that a lot of people think is anti-LGBTQ. We can't forget the Q. A lot of people forget the Q.
A lot of people forget.
You know what the Q is?
Questioning.
Yes.
That's when you're not quite sure
yes.
yet.
LGBTQ.
It's when you're sticking your toe outside the closet, but you're not exactly in the room.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about that because I want to get into that. But the one I want to really get into first is Mississippi. Because Mississippi also passed a religious freedom bill that's getting a lot of backlash as well. Because people think, well, it is anti-LGBTQ, that it allows businesses not to provide services to gay, lesbians, and all that stuff. But before we get into that, I found an interview with Melissa Joan Hart. Now, she was interviewed by Good Morning America, and the reason is she is the star of the new movie God's Not Dead, which is it's God's Not Dead 2. It's a sequel, and it's a pro-Christian, pro-religious movie. I have not seen the movie.
Yeah, neither have I.
I might see when it comes out on DVD. I haven't seen the first one. I like the message in a lot of those kind of Christian movies. The biggest problem I have with a lot of them is usually the acting is terrible. It's corny. The writing, directing is usually not...
It's usually not up to the regular standards.
So, there are some that are really, really good. There's actually a movie I want everybody out there to see. It came out a few years ago. It's a Christian movie by the same people, I believe. It's called Second Chance. And Michael W. Smith is in it, and it's a very good movie. And that's the exception. But unfortunately, I just want them to have better acting. I don't know. I'm very picky about that. I'm sure the message is good.
Bring up the production value.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Someone needs to fund that.
Someone needs to fund that. Now, I heard that the new movie Risen is really good. So that might be one that I want to see. The other reason I haven't seen it is, I usually watch movies to escape from all this. Yeah. So when I watch God's Not Dead, I'm not really escaping from all this political nonsense, beyond reasonness that's out there. But I digress. Melissa Joan Hart, she was on the show Melissa and Joey, Clarissa Explains It All, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, all that stuff.
Yeah.
She was interviewed on Good Morning America about that movie. And she made a comment here that I thought was very interesting, talking about tolerance. Because a lot of us think Christians are not tolerant. They're haters. Even though if you read the Bible and you're taught Christianity, you're taught the exact opposite of hate. You are. But this is what she said when asked about the whole issue of tolerance.
This is all about separation of church and state. In this particular movie, the teacher is being persecuted because of her faith, because of a question that she was asked in class. Why do you think it's an important conversation to have right now in 2016?
There shouldn't be any one religion represented in anything. But at the same time, we need to be tolerant to all religions. Like, if a Christian's right to believe is subordinate to all other rights, then it's not a right at all. And so, I think it's just really about tolerance all across the board for everyone.
Tolerance for everyone, including Christians? No, we can't have that in today's world. We have to be tolerant of the LGBTQ community. But if a Christian has very strong beliefs, say that gay marriage is not godly, or that homosexuality is not godly, or transgenderism is not godly, or abortion is not godly, we can't tolerate those people. No, we have to get their mind right, some people say. I agree with Melissa there, that this is a big issue. And honestly, this explains the rise of Trump and others, because Christians are they're mad. They're constantly being attacked, it seems like, and they're fighting back. And unfortunately, many of them are fighting back with someone who isn't exactly the most Christian himself in Donald Trump. But what's bringing up a lot of this issue is states like Mississippi are passing laws that people think is anti-gay. In fact, I got some great article from the National Review here on this. It says, Mississippi passed a law on Tuesday protecting business owners' right to freedom from religious discrimination and compelled speech. I want you to remember those words, and compelled speech, because those words are key. And those are the words that the LGBTQ community is not talking about. He says, but to read the news, you wouldn't know it. A quick skim of the headline shows a theme. Mississippi governor signs law allowing service denial to gays. Another headline says Mississippi governor signs LGBTQ segregation bill into law. Another headline said Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant signs anti-LGBT bill into law. So if you read all the headlines...
If you read the headlines, yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
it's saying, but that's...
This is not what the law is about.
Continue.
I'm going to give you some truth here,
because,
Mike. You're gonna like what I'm going to give to you.
Because I'm pretty sure about something, but continue.
Okay. This is from the article. You think from a quick read that Mississippi had passed a violent, virulent anti-LGBT law. You definitely wouldn't know that there's overwhelming popular support for the bill in Mississippi from both Democrats and Republicans in the state. Oh, man, if you read those headlines, you wouldn't know that. You might not be sure if we'd been flung back to the era of Jim Crow laws, to the Middle Ages, or a cave-dwelling existence sometimes before then. But there'd be no doubt in your mind that things are really, really bad. That's if you read those headlines. But then he explains. This is by, once again, from the National Review. It's by Jane Sharl, which is this is a great article. Really points out all of the misconceptions about this law. And all of these laws have these big misconceptions that are trying to be passed and that are being attacked. She says, so what about it? Does the Mississippi law allow people to discriminate, to refuse service to someone based purely on their sexual orientation? Does it hurl us back thousands of years into the past? No, it doesn't. For most businesses, the law won't make any difference at all. It doesn't allow religious restaurant owners, for instance, not to serve a gay man a sandwich because of their convictions. It doesn't let religious booksellers refuse to sell a book to a lesbian. You would, if you read those headlines, you would think that. She says, it does, however, protect the religious freedom of certain business owners who provide wedding-related services without in any way infringing upon the right to same-sex marriage. Once again, if you read the headline, you wouldn't see it that way. A Christian cake baker cannot, under this law, refuse to sell a cake to an LGBTQ individual. I'm going to repeat that. A Christian cake baker cannot, under this law, refuse to sell a cake to a gay individual. He can, however, refuse to express a message that violates his beliefs. Remember I said the key words earlier, compelled speech? This protects against compelled speech. This is what it's getting at. So he can choose not to craft a custom wedding cake for a same-sex wedding. To force him to do so would be to compel speech. This is where the crux of the matter is, because it's not being crafted this way. And a lot of this started when a bakery owner was compelled speech to make a cake an LGBTQ wedding cake. And they didn't want to do it. You can buy a regular wedding cake, but we're not going to do it. It's against our religious beliefs. Now, this wouldn't be an uproar, for instance, if someone came in and said, say a Muslim came in and said, well, I want a Muslim cake. And the Christian said, no, I'm not a Muslim. I don't believe in that. Oh, we should compel them to make it anyway. Or what if someone wants to make a pornographic cake? Should we compel them to make it too? Some people like pornography. It's a free country, right?
I'm sure there's already places you can get that done. You don't have to compel anyone else to do it.
Well, and that's exactly the point. In that one instance, I forget what state it was where all that controversy started, but in that one instance, that's exactly what they did. They said, I'll tell you other places that will do it for you. We just can't. He says, American citizens' freedom from compelled speech is a part of the freedom of speech enshrined in the Bill of Rights. This principle holds that the government can't force citizens to express convictions they don't hold any more than it can silence them from expressing convictions they do hold. And it's a crucial element of American political life. I couldn't agree more. So when you get to the truth, you understand that this is not exactly how it's being crafted. It's not like a gay person would go into a hotel and under this law, oh, we can't have you in this hotel because you're gay. That's not what this law is saying. It's compelled speech.
You know what this sounds like to me?
What's that?
A slow news day.
A slow news day?
Yeah, because they're blowing up the headlines, making it sound like it's so much bigger of a deal than it is.
I wish you were right. I wish it was because it was slow news day, but it's not. It's an agenda. They're pushing an agenda.
Oh, okay.
Because they want to make it so Christians, even though it's against the Bible, say homosexuality is a good thing.
So you're saying there's an agenda behind it. I see what
exactly.
I understand that. But doesn't this law already exist all over the place?
Well, there are
similar laws.
Yes, there are similar laws in other states.
I'm pretty sure Florida even has.
There are similar laws in other states, and this also goes back to the idea of tolerance, because Christians are taught in the Bible to be tolerant. Mm-hmm. But what does tolerant mean? What the LGBT community wants us to be, they don't want us to be tolerant. They want us to be pro what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They want us to be pro-gay. Just because I'm not pro-homosexual doesn't mean I'm not tolerant towards homosexuals doing what they do. It's a free country. They can be homosexual.
Yeah.
That's tolerance. But they don't want me to be just tolerant. They want to compel my speech as a Christian to be pro-gay. And this goes to, say, pastors or priests having to marry gay couples. Some believe that pastors and priests should be compelled to marry gay couples, even though it's against their religious beliefs. I would never compel a pastor to marry anyone. I know pastors who refuse straight couples marriage because they're not living the Christian lifestyle, or they're they're having sex before marriage and all this stuff.
So just go find another one.
Yeah, and there's plenty of places to do that.
There really are. There's
But
drive-thrus.
Like I said, there's drive-thrus. Yeah, there really are. It's about an agenda.
I see what
and
you're
they're
saying.
pushing it.
Yeah.
And this is why people in the Christian community, they get so upset. They don't want to be like this. They don't necessarily want to support someone like Trump, but they're just sick of constantly being attacked with stuff like this. Mississippi just passes a law that makes sure you have religious freedom and you're not compelled to have certain speech, and the world goes crazy. Georgia has similar laws. And then we go to North Carolina. North Carolina is a little bit different. What happened in North Carolina was basically there was a town or a city or district in that area who passed a law saying that you have to allow transgenders to be able to choose what bathroom they want. So if you're a guy and you have the guy parts, but you say you're a girl, this law would say, well, that business has to let that person in whichever bathroom they choose. So what happened is the state came out and said, no, you can't do that. So they passed a law preventing the cities from doing that. This is a state issue. Okay. But if you heard everyone else, you would think, no, this is anti-transgender. This is anti-gay. This is anti-homosexual. But that's not what it's about. It's about protecting some businesses or public places saying, look, if you're a guy, you have to use the guy's bathroom. If you're a girl, you have to use the girl's bathroom. And can you believe, this might sound beyond reason, but it's not. Can you believe that we're probably going to come to a point in this country where we don't have separate bathrooms?
Just co-ed?
Mm-hmm. I think that's coming.
Really?
I think that's coming, where we just all share the same bathroom all the time.
They used to do that in
How do
Greece.
you feel? They what?
They used to do that back in Greek times.
Did they?
Certain cities used to have co-ed, like partner
Little
bathrooms.
history lesson from Mike.
I learned this in a documentary once. Certain bathrooms used to be able to just sit right next to you, whoever, and do your thing together.
That might be coming in this country because we're coming so politically correct.
I think it was Greece. I don't know. I will have to look that up.
We're coming so politically correct that if a guy has a guy parts, but you know what? I'm questioning, or I'm a girl. I'm going to go in the girl's bathroom. We just have to say, okay, let's go on in. No problems here.
Let's just bring back outhouses.
Yeah. No, we'd have to share those too.
Everybody's welcome. Just dig a hole. How about that?
Yeah, that's so much better, Mike thinks. But the North Carolina governor said a comment on this whole issue, and I thought, wow, he put it in a way that is exactly right. Nobody thinks about it this way. A lot of people say this is anti-transgender, but this is what he said here. And I want you to think about what he said because it's very important.
You know, we all have to make adjustments in life, and we've had these proper etiquette situations for decades in our country, and all of a sudden through political correctness, we're throwing away basic etiquette. I mean, wonder if your daughter or son was showering and all of a sudden a man walks into the locker room and says, "This is what I am." Would you want that for your child?
Think about that. You have a daughter. Your daughter is in a locker room and a man comes in and says, well, I'm actually a girl, so I can be in this locker room with you. Would you want that for your daughter? He's talking about there's some social norms, social etiquette that makes sense. It's common sense. But people say what he just said is anti-transgender. He's a hater.
Do you think it's ever a possibility we'll just come to a point where instead of having co-ed, we'll maybe have 3 bathrooms? Man, woman, and
well,
private?
that might be the first step, and they have that. That might be the first step in some, but no, they don't want 3 bathrooms.
That's not.
The transgender community doesn't want 3 bathrooms. They want a guy who says he's a girl to be able to go in a girl's bathroom. That's what they want, and they will not be happy until that happens. So the solution going to be in the long run that we all just have 1 bathroom.
Brings us right back to tolerant.
Yeah.
3 bathrooms is tolerant.
But this goes beyond tolerance. It's just truth.
Yeah.
If you're a guy and you have the guy parts,
use the guy's bathroom.
You're a man. Okay? I'm sorry. That's who you are. You're going to use the man's bathroom. But we ignore truth because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. I'm not about feelings. I'm about truth. And there's so many issues in this country where truth doesn't matter anymore. Religious freedom doesn't matter, and I think he was exactly right. But people say the law is it's discriminatory, discriminates against people. There's a lot of things in our society then that apparently discriminate against us. When you go into Target, for instance, and I know we have to hit a break. Mike's giving the look. When you go to Target, for instance, or whatever, any department store, they have a woman's clothing section and a man's clothing section.
You know what? I've noticed that before.
How? That's discrimination. What's why do I have to go to a man's over a woman's or blah, blah, blah? There's things in life that discriminate based on certain ideas. When you drive, you have to drive on the right side of the road instead of the left. What if I want to drive on the left side of the road? What about my rights to drive on the left side of the road?
Move to London.
Exactly. Oh, and there's a stop sign. Well, I don't want to stop, okay? So I'm going to keep going. It's my right to blow through this stop sign. See where this goes? That's the point he was making there. But you want to talk about beyond reason. A lot of this is beyond reason. But I hope I was able to give you some truth, some background, some facts surrounding this whole issue. But I'm telling you, we're going to have a point in this country where more and more places, they're just going to give up on separate bathrooms and we're all just going to be using the same bathroom. Together. I just hope they don't give up urinals. I mean, I still want a urinal.
It's too convenient.
Exactly. You are listening to Beyond Reason Radio. In the next segment, we're going to go over some Beyond Reason politics, and it's going to be a big I told you so. I'm Michael Yaffee, your voice of reason. This is Beyond Reason Radio at beyondreasonradio.com.
If you heart Beyond Reason Radio, listen to the Beyond Reason Radio podcast on iHeartRadio. Just download the iHeartRadio app and search Beyond Reason Radio.
There are so many clothing fads out there that are just beyond reason. But here at Beyond Reason Radio, we want to let you in on a new patriotic fad that will never fade. That fad stands for Freedom All Day. Freedom All Day is the latest apparel brand for the true patriot who is not afraid to show it. Their mission is to give people an opportunity to show patriotism all year and to do it while looking good. Check out their latest stuff, including their newest t-shirts at freedomallDayapparel.com. At freedomallDayapparel.com, you can find all kinds of different cool-looking t-shirts, and they are all made in America. Go to freedomallDayapparel.com and be part of the fad that never fades.
If you like Beyond Reason Radio, well, make sure to show it by liking the Facebook page at facebook.com/Beyond Reason Radio.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Remember, you can chat with the show on the Beyond Reason Radio app. Or if you're listening to the podcast, go on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Beyond Reason Radio. Give your comments there as well, and we'll talk about them on the air. Okay, so now we are in another great segment of the show, Beyond Reason Politics. I was hoping for an applause.
I know, that's why I didn't do it.
Okay, let's try this again. Now we go to Beyond Reason Politics.
Let's get a little vibrato first. Beyond Reason Politics. Can I get that?
Well, actually, Mike, I think as producer, you should introduce the segment.
Ladies and gentlemen,
go on.
This evening we bring you Beyond Reason Politics.
Thank you.
With Mike Yaffee.
I think you should probably, that's going to be one of your jobs from now on, is to do that.
And in this corner. All right.
And this is also voice of reason prediction. I've been saying forever. And, well, let me just read. A lot of you probably already know this. Let me just read this poll. Donald Trump's unfavorability rating, according to the AP, has risen to a whopping 70%.
His what rating? Can you repeat that?
Unfavorability. Negative rating. 70% don't like him.
Where was it before?
Of the country.
I mean, isn't that obvious?
I don't know what it was before, but it's always been pretty high.
Yeah.
He has like 80% unfavorability with women. 70%. I think exactly it's 69%. 7 in 10 people, including close to half of Republican voters, have an unfavorable view of Trump. And it includes like every demographic. Mike? That's something I've been saying for a while. That what worries me the most is not Democrats, but Republicans not wanting to vote for Trump because he's not a Republican. Don't tell anybody, but he's probably not. But how does someone with that big negativity get elected, Mike?
How does he get this far is a better question. But I don't know.
How does he get elected in the general? I keep saying he's unstoppable. He's got the grand coalition.
I just don't understand how.
So no chance, huh?
70% unfavored? Like,
you're making too much sense, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure this out.
I feel like you got something else up your
sleeve.
No,
I don't. I really don't. I really want you to know. I really want to know.
That's just not.
Now, he was able to get the Republican because there was 50 bajillion candidates, and you didn't need a majority. But, yeah, and I've heard, I think this number might be high, might be extreme. Because I think in the general, a lot of those Republicans who don't like him will vote for him. But all Hillary has to get is 50% of the vote to win. 52, 55%, 50, probably 50, because a lot of people will vote third party. So all Trump has to have is maybe 50% negative. That's 20 points lower than where he's at now, and he still loses. How's this possible? How is it? Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who is seeking to catch up Trump in the Republican delegate count, is viewed unfavorably by 59%. A lot of people think that's too high, but that's not 70%. And 55% have negative views of frontrunner Hillary Clinton. A lot of people don't like Hillary. This is a huge opportunity for Republicans to win an election, and we're about to nominate someone who has 70% negative ratings. And I've been saying, have I not been saying since the beginning of all this, that watch out. If you make Trump the nominee, I don't see how he wins the general.
Yeah, you've
mentioned that just a couple of times,
just a few times.
So it's getting pretty. What are the words, Mike?
Beyond reason.
There we go. Thank you. All right. In the next segment, we're going to go over some beyond reason economic news. Oh, and before I go to break, since we're talking on Trump, there's another thing I want to mention. I keep hearing one of the biggest reasons why Trump, should be elected. He should be the candidate. Why people like him.
Should?
Yeah, these are the reasons why people like him.
Oh, okay.
The number one reason I hear is he cannot be bought. I keep hearing that over and over again. He's funding his own campaign. He can't be bought. He can't be bought. He does what he thinks is right. I don't know if this is true.
Well,
I'm going to go over some facts here.
Okay.
You're waiting on the edge of your seat. I found this from Conservative Review. Not only has Trump funded open borders politicians like Schumer, Durbin, McCain, Graham, and Menendez, but he also has been bailed out by George Soros. George Soros, the billionaire leftist who funds people like Hillary Clinton, funds leftist groups all over the place. Trump was bailed out by him. I thought he couldn't be bought. This sounds like maybe he might owe George Soros some favors. Just because he's not funding his political campaign doesn't mean he can't be bought. It's the biggest lie ever. And people say that George Soros is funding Ted Cruz, and Ted Cruz is corrupt, and he's bought by all these different things, and they're ignoring none of them. None of those people funding Ted Cruz have bailed out Ted Cruz as much as George Soros has bailed out Trump. In fact, according to the Chicago Tribune, Trump actually spent Christmas Eve with George Soros in 2009. Well, that was according to the New York Post. According to the Chicago Tribune, Donald Trump was bailed out for his Trump Tower in Chicago. Donald Trump has lined up 3 New York hedge funds, including money from billionaire George Soros, to invest $160 million in a Chicago skyscraper. Soros gave Donald Trump a mezzanine loan, which is basically a bailout because Trump didn't want to or couldn't front his own money to build the Chicago Trump Tower. I thought Trump couldn't be bought, but you're telling me there's no possibility that Trump might owe Soros right now? He might owe people like Soros right now who has been funding stuff for him his whole life? Mm-hmm. And I'm not necessarily saying that's true. It might not be. It might not be. Trump might say, I don't owe him anything, and might do what he wants. But I hear all the Trump supporters constantly tell me, Ted Cruz is bought by this and that, and Kasich is bought and all this, but Trump's not bought. But here's evidence that shows that maybe Trump could be bought too. It's in a different way, and it's a lot more money, and it's with a very, very bad person. But they just ignore that. Oh, no, Trump just says it like it is.
And they always say, oh, he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Well, isn't that what businessmen do? They make deals for money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he might owe a lot of those people he made deals with.
It's all about price tags in business.
Mm-hmm. So when he gets in there, George Soros said, hey, remember when I gave you a few $1 million to fund your Chicago Trump Tower?
I wish I could say that.
Yeah, remember when I did that?
Time
you
gave me all that money.
You owe me, Trump. You owe me right now. They're not thinking about that. All right, Beyond Reason Politics is over. I'm going to get into the Beyond Reason economy next. You're listening to Beyond Reason Radio here, BeyondReasonRadio.com and the Beyond Reason Radio app.
You want to listen to Beyond Reason Radio live on your smartphone? Download the Beyond Reason Radio app now. Available in the Google Play or Apple App Stores.
There are so many clothing fads out there that are just beyond reason. But here at Beyond Reason Radio, we want to let you in on a new patriotic fad that will never fade. That fad stands for Freedom All Day. Freedom All Day is the latest apparel brand for the true patriot who is not afraid to show it. Their mission is to give people an opportunity to show patriotism all year and to do it while looking good. Check out their latest stuff, including their newest t-shirts at freedomallDayapparel.com. At freedomallDayapparel.com, you can find all kinds of different cool-looking t-shirts, and they are all made in America. Go to freedomallDayapparel.com and be part of the fad that never fades.
You can now listen to the voice of the millennial generation on Podbean. Download the app or go to beyondreasonradio.podbean.com.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at BeyondReasonR. That is Beyond Reason, the letter R. I'm always posting cool stuff on there. And you can comment and tell me what you think of the show, what you think of the topics, and I don't know, what you think of my hair. Whatever you want to talk about. I don't care.
They can't see your hair, Mike.
That's true. It is radio, but...
Talk about his voice.
I've also posted some videos. I'm doing a weekly video rant, so we'll have a new one this week as well, and I posted that on YouTube, on the website, on Facebook, so make sure to connect with the show. So, Mike, I'm just really getting tired of bad economic news. I just feel like this
is my wallet.
Yeah, I just feel like, I know we're not really in the Great Recession anymore, and we had some recovery, but I just feel like the economy has never, even since 2008, it's never been really strong. It seems like all the time we just can't get this economy back to where it should be. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, your wallet's gonna not like this story, Mike.
Okay.
And this is my wallet too, by the way. All right, first thing I want to point out to you guys is first quarter economy looks bleaker by the day, according to CNBC. Some economists now see first quarter growth as negligible, and it could easily turn out to be negative. The Atlanta Fed GDP Now model now shows first quarter growth tracking at 0.1% compared to 0.4% estimate earlier in the week. JP Morgan economists now forecast the economy only expanded by 0.2% in the first quarter. So It's not growing. GDP is not growing. The economy is not growing. Yeah, 0.1%, basically, it's not growing. And there's many reasons for this. Now, luckily, we don't seem to be in a big bubble or anything, so we're not going to have like a great recession. But it just seems like this economy cannot get back on track. And unfortunately, this helps Trump because for some crazy, beyond reason, they think he is the guy to fix the economy. I don't know. All right, another story. That was about this quarter. But how is the future going to look? We're going to get into the future, and the economy is going to grow soon, and we're going to be great again. Make America great again. Yeah, we're going to win, right? According to the Government Accountability Office on Wednesday, they said the government will owe more money than the entire economy produces.
Oh, great. That's wonderful.
Looking forward to that. Report finds issues with reliability of government's financial statements and proper payments. According to the office Wednesday, they told lawmakers that in the next few years, the federal government will owe more money than our entire economy produces. The Comptroller General for the GAO, Government Accountability Office, testified at the Senate Budget Committee and said, we're very heavily leveraged in debt. The historical average post-World War II of how much debt we held as a percent of gross domestic product was 43% on average. Right now, we're at 74%. And it looks like it's going to get even worse in the next few years. The audit found that in the fiscal year 2015, there were $136.7 billion improper payments by the government, which was up by $12 billion from the previous year. So soon, we're at 74% right now. Eventually, we're going to be over. Not too long, we're going to be over 100%. We're going to owe more than our economy makes every year. So how is that going to make us win? And by the way, what is the plan to cut that debt?
I don't know, but up until now, you're really depressing me.
No. Okay.
So I'm hoping that you have a good idea.
I don't.
Like what you're about to read.
No.
Nothing?
No.
No plans, no.
I mean, there are lots of great plans out there, but they're not by any people winning. You think Hillary Clinton's going to help this? You think Bernie Sanders wants $19.2 trillion in new taxes over 10 years?
That's okay. We're going to get it for free.
That's going to help us?
We're going to get the money.
All those new from where?
The 1%.
Oh, they don't have 19
all the billionaires out there.
Dollars.
All the billionaires, they put it together. They put it in a big bowl. We're going to take from that.
Okay, if you would have to tax them 100%, and it still wouldn't cover it.
That's okay, because we're going to get free college out of it. Take the leftovers.
Oh, man. Oh, but the $15 in minimum wage will help. I mean, people are leaving California. Businesses are leaving California in record numbers, but it's okay. They're about to pass $15 an hour minimum wage, so those businesses will come back, right?
Nope.
They'll go back to California. Hey, look at that, $15. We love that. We're going to go back. We're going to hire new people. Everyone's going to have money. Yay, we're going to win.
Bring in the automation.
How you feel? It's already happening. How do you feel about that, Mike? Is that better?
No.
This is why a lot of people in our generation go to Bernie Sanders rallies, because they ignore reality and they're like, well, he says free. He says free college. Yay. All right. Unfortunately, I have more bad news, though, Mike.
More?
Yeah, I'm not done. There was got this from Fox News, leading economist Stephen Moore. There was a merger that was planned by two big drug companies, Pfizer and Dublin-based Allergan, I think. I don't know. I can't say that with a Dublin accent. But that they decided not to merge. But the reason why they wanted to merge is because Pfizer wanted to move the company to Ireland. So they wanted to merge the Irish company. Why? Well, Ireland's corporate tax rate is 12.5%. So businesses would rather go there. Ours, 35%. He says Pfizer was only one of the latest major American companies that had announced it is packing up and moving to a foreign country because of lower tax rates in India, Mexico, Canada, Ireland, and almost anywhere else on the globe. First, it was Burger King, then Medtronics, and then Pfizer, Johnson Controls, and on and on and on. Can Disney and Mickey Mouse be far behind? Disney has parks all over the world. What if they leave? Many more Fortune 500 companies are planning to leave in the months ahead, and it's questionable whether these new rules will prevent it from happening. A bunch of new rules that Obama's pushing. They want new taxes to have the rich pay more taxes. I don't want to get into all that. And none of the plans are to lower the corporate tax rate, at least from the left. Now, Ted Cruz has a plan to get rid of the corporate tax and replace it with a flat tax. But there we go. How you feel now, Mike? Feel better all these companies leaving? Look, they need to pay their fair share, Mike. So we need to tax them more. More corporate tax should be more. So we'll just charge them more, and then they'll just pay. Yeah, they'll just pay it. Yeah, that's how it works, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I had to give you some truth out there, people. That when you look at the evidence, you look, the economy's not growing, and then you look at why. Massive debt, massive taxes, and massive regulation. So why don't we get rid of those things, and maybe we'll help the economy here. Just a thought. All right, coming up in the next segment, we have the maybe possibly best segment. A story so beyond reason, it will leave Mike more than flabbergasted, I think. He's
sitting on the edge of my seat.
He's a little scared. I think he's a little scared. All right, you're listening to Beyond Reason Radio here at BeyondReasonRadio.com.
You know what's beyond reason? Yaffee is now on YouTube. Go to YouTube now and just search Beyond Reason Radio.
There are so many clothing fads out there that are just beyond reason. But here at Beyond Reason Radio, we want to let you in on a new patriotic fad that will never fade. That fad stands for Freedom All Day. Freedom All Day is the latest apparel brand for the true patriot who is not afraid to show it. Their mission is to give people an opportunity to show patriotism all year and to do it while looking good. Check out their latest stuff, including their newest t-shirts at freedomallDayapparel.com. At freedomallDayapparel.com, you can find all kinds of different cool-looking t-shirts, and they are all made in America. Go to freedomallDayapparel.com and be part of the fad that never fades.
If you miss any of the show, you can download the Beyond Reason podcast on iTunes.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Make sure to download the Beyond Reason podcast and share with your friends on iTunes, Podbean, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio app, all of those places, and you can share with your friends, or just download the Beyond Reason Radio app, and you can listen to it there as well. I am your host, Michael Yaffee, your voice of reason, your voice of truth in a world that is beyond reason, and I'm joined by executive producer Mr. Michael Formasano. And you can chat with the show. Just push the chat button and chat with the show live anytime we do the show live, Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. So, Mike, you introduced the Beyond Reason Politics segment. You want to introduce this segment? Yeah, this is your job now, so go.
Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in. Watch your minds, because they're about to be blown as we enter the flabbergasted segment.
Pretty good.
I'll work on it.
It's good. Stories so beyond reason that I find in the news, and it's not hard to find. It's not hard.
Not at all.
That they're so beyond reason, they will leave you flabbergasted.
You have me nervous about this one, though.
Oh, it's bad.
That's why. The anticipation.
All I have to do is read the headline, and that pretty much says it all. It might be the most disgusting, disturbing thing you've ever read in your life.
All right, we're doing this.
All right, here's a headline from the UK Mirror. Mother says sex with her son is incredible as she reveals they're planning marriage and trying for a baby. Grossed out. I was really grossed out reading that just now. Poor Mike. He just doesn't know what to say.
I feel bad for the baby.
Oh, and it gets worse. Ben Ford, the son, who ditched his wife when he met his mother, Kim West, after 30 years. So Kim West adopted his son, didn't know him for 30 years. His son met his mother after 30 years later and said, I don't want to be with my wife anymore. I'm going to ditch her and have a relationship with my mother. And they claim that what the couple are doing isn't incest.
How?
Pretty sure that's the definition of incest.
There's no other word for it. Other than gross.
Mm-hmm. A mother reunited with the son she gave up for adoption 30 years ago says now they're in love.
Jesus, some
and
Freudian
trying
stuff going on here.
For a baby together. Kim West, 51, has been in a relationship with her biological son, Ben Ford, 32, for 2 years and believe they are meant to be after she was forced to give him up for adoption just a week after he was born. Oh, it gets worse when I'm about to read it.
It gets worse? How does it possibly get worse?
But the couple who say their sex life is incredible are planning to get married insist the relationship is not incest. Instead, they claim it is genetic sexual attraction. Oh, they're born this way. Oh, we heard this before. A term used for relatives who feel sexual attraction for each other after meeting as adults. Well, I don't know why you're so disturbed by this. We have to accept them, Mike. We have to tolerate them. What do we call this? So we have the LGBTQ. Do we add I? There we go. We add an I at the end. The LGBTQI community.
I don't think that's the same thing.
But they're two consenting adults, Mike. They should be able to have babies and use whatever bathroom they want and get married, even though this is incredibly gross.
It's a huge step back for humanity.
Yeah, and they think it's forward, though. Okay, the couple were brought together after Ben, who was living in the U.S., sent his English-born mom a letter out of the blue in 2013. 2 years before, Ben had married his wife, Victoria, who he later split up with to be in a relationship with his mom. The pair began exchanging phone calls before agreeing to meet up, Kim saying it was like they had known each other for years. See, I mean, it's good there. I mean, it's fine you're getting to know your mom, but why do you have to... Or you can even love your mom, but doesn't mean you should want to...
It won't last.
Have to have sex. They say they're in love, Mike.
It won't last.
They say they're in love.
Because...
They're getting married and having kids.
Because in life, as a man, you get nagged by two women. Your wife and your mother.
This is all one.
You can't make it all one. He won't make it.
He says he's in love.
He'll be frustrated twice as fast.
I just read the next line.
No. There's more.
The main reason I brought this up is because we're going to have to be told to accept this in the future. We think it's gross, but they're just consenting adults, Mike. We have to accept it. Not only tolerate it, but say it's good, and they should have rights, and they should be able to get married and have kids. It's where we're headed in society. Interior designer Kim started to realize her attraction to her son and found herself having sexy dreams about him. Sorry, this is really grossing me out. I'm shuddering. I don't know if I can get through the rest of this, Mike. Feeling confused about the attraction, Kim decided to look it up on the internet. Oh, the internet.
The wonderful internet.
And came across an article on genetic sexual attraction and felt like a weight had lifted Oh, it's just a genetic disorder, so it's okay.
It's not a genetic disorder. It's your genetics. It's your child.
Mm-hmm. It's disgusting. The pair agreed to meet at a hotel where they ordered alcohol and after a bottle of champagne shared their first kiss.
After only one bottle?
I know.
Champagne? You sure it wasn't tequila?
Ben told her he felt relieved and that he had stopped having feelings for his wife.
I'm feeling nausea.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. And then they did the thing, and Kim told the Newsday sex with Ben was incredible and mind-blowing. Of course it's mind-blowing because it's disgusting. This is not incest, it's GSA. We are like peas in a pod and are meant to be together. I know people will say we're disgusting, that we should be able to control our feelings, but when you're hit by a love so consuming, you are willing to give up everything for it. You have to fight for it. You know, that's what sexual predators say.
They also
They're
say
in
you want
love.
some candy.
Yeah. They're in love. We have to accept it,
Except
Mike.
if you want some champagne.
As beyond reason as it is, the reason I'm telling you, this is going to spread, and we're going to be told to accept them. And told it's great, and they should have kids, and...
How are we going to shift gears out of this now?
I don't know. You're just ready to be done with this.
Well, here's a start.
I told you. If no one out there is not... If you're out there and you're not flabbergasted by this, you might have some serious
You might have
issues.
GSA.
All right, so I think I need to end with a Bible verse.
Please.
I think I need to. All right, Philippians chapter 4. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Think about those things. That's what that mom and son should have thought about. They should have given their life to Christ and something better and had the Holy Spirit heal them. But no. And the God of peace will be with you. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll have more Beyond Reason stuff on Monday.
Conviction.